Welcome. You're listening to PaleoCheeze Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with our very, very first live edition of PaleoCheeze Podcast.
That's right. We're being deflowered live on YouTube.
It's totally true, man. We were kind of scrambling, weren't we, man? We made the decision. How long ago was it, Chad? How long ago did we kind of make the decision? We're gonna try this live thing, man.
Probably a long time ago.
Probably a long time ago.
One of those things where we just talk about it and then we don't do it.
Yeah. And dude, I'll tell you, it was it's a good decision. I mean, people don't know this, but we put a lot of work, man, into the show, and we end up when we pre-record, them buggers are like, I don't know, man, like sometimes 3 hours long. You know, we'll do the first half of a show, then the second half of a show, and then we have to go in and we have to download it and edit it and then publish it. And it was like, man, it was like, you know, we love doing it. And there are some perks, right, to doing it pre-recorded. But we thought, you know what? Why don't we just do this, man? Why don't we just decide we're going to try it? We're going to try doing a live episode, and we put it together and we decided we're going to stick with StreamYard for now. We're going to stick with StreamYard. We got some other ideas and stuff, but this is exciting. And not only, dude, is it live today, buddy, but even more than that, is that this is our New Year's edition of the show.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a doubly special, I guess. Hopefully, maybe it'll be boring. Maybe we'll rehash a bunch of stuff people already know.
Yeah, everybody is tuning out. They're like, forget this, dude. This is stupid. We don't like this, man. And they're gonna love it, dude. Everybody's gonna love it. They're gonna fawn over it, dude. It's gonna be great. But we decided that it would be really cool. And we kind of had a little bit of discussion about, what do we want to do? Do we want to talk about, kind of our favorite segments, our favorite movies, our favorite interviews? And we decided against the interview part, in part because we love them all, right?
Yeah.
We loved them all. They were amazing. We had really cool people, but we decided we were going to go over some movies and stuff, man. The best and the worst. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now here's the deal. Here's the thing, man. I was going through these today to pick my favorites, and I was like, oh yeah, that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. And I realized I can't do this.
Yeah.
Because half of them were like, dude, this is one of my favorite movies. Let's do this one. So I figured this. I've already posted this on my website in my blog. I will briefly go over just period, because I watched around 180 movies this year, most of which were horror. I will go through. I've got like I said, on my blog, I got 10 of the best and 10 of the worst that I saw all year.
So wait a second, we got to roll back one second. I'm sorry to totally bust in on you like that. Mm-hmm. Dude, did you say 180 horror movies?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, man.
Wow, dude.
I'm
That's
sure
another level, man.
I got nothing on Hunter Shea or probably Tim Meyer.
Oh yeah,
those guys. Tim Meyer with his job at home.
Yeah,
that he does, and Jason Brandt too.
Yeah,
but so 180 movies. I boiled it down to my 10 favorite, but my absolute favorite movie of the year is one that we watched for the show. Well, actually one that I watched, then I said, we need to do this for the show.
You know what? I have a feeling I know which one it is, but I don't want to guess it right now. We got to wait, because I think I'm going to surprise you a little bit because, people, I know we said movies, but I may have picked as my favorite watch of the year. I may have actually picked something that wasn't technically a movie. Although there is a movie that kind of goes with it. And so that may give it away for some of the viewers and may give it away for you. But it's TV. And so it's something on TV it consumed me like big time. For a very long time. You'll know, dude, you'll know.
Yeah.
You know, but I also kind of went through, and I struggle with the same thing, man. I'm going through these movies, and I've been rating stuff on IMDb. You know, if I watch a movie, not every time, but if I watch a movie, I'll go on there and I'll add it to the list of movies that I've seen, and I'll give it a rating and everything. So I'm going through, and I'm thinking, man, there's a lot of them that you know, when I was going through the stuff we'd done with interviews with people and doing movie reviews with the show, that kind of keeps it pretty limited. But then when we expanded it to, well, what did we watch throughout the entire year? Oh, wow. And so that was like a whole bunch, dude. And I had to go through. And at first I thought, man, I got this. Because the idea was like five that you really like, you know, and then a couple, maybe one or two that you really disliked, whatever. And so I put together the 5, and then it turned into 6, and then it turned into like 20. And I'm thinking, dude, come on, man. So I actually have not only the best movies, in my opinion, that I've watched of the year and the worst, but I also have honorable mentions. And I say in the best one, which one was nudged out. So it kind of is, dude, I've got a lot. Dude, I probably was not as good at obeying the rules of the show as you were, Chad. And so, but we'll see. I gave it my best, man.
Okay. So I guess let me I got my blog thing right here. I guess I'll save number. These are in no particular order with the exception of number 1. Okay. Most of these I don't think that you've seen, so I'll just kind of pop through a couple titles. 10 was a movie called The Rental. I can't remember if it's on Prime or Shudder, but that one was really good. The Rental. I haven't heard many people talk about it. Just a group of young adults go to a beach house and they rent it out, and it's a slasher movie, but it's really well done, and it's different. It's a different type of a slasher, and it has a great ending. So yeah, The Rental. Another one is called The Beach House, which is about a beach house. I'm not going to say what it's about because I went in completely blind, and I don't even read. Not only do I not watch trailers, I don't even read the 1 or 2 sentence synopses that like Shudder or Amazon posts, and I'm so thankful I didn't with this, because I would have known what the movie was about. And for the first like maybe 45 minutes or so, I knew that it was a thriller or a horror movie because of the tone, but I didn't know where the horror was coming from. So I didn't know if it was, you know, at this place that they were at, if it was the people, if it was something that was yet to be on screen. Just the tension was intense. And because I had no idea where the horror was going to come from, it made the movie all that more special for me. Halfway, right at the point where I found out kind of what the horror is, I had paused the movie for something, and just by habit, I guess, I read the little synopsis at the bottom of the screen, and it would have ruined the movie because I would have just been waiting for this thing. So I don't even read that crap anymore. So yeah, The Beach House. The Boy is another movie I saw that you may have seen. I don't know. It's at least
I haven't seen The Boy, man.
The Boy,
man. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. No, I haven't even heard of it.
I've heard of it, and I had heard of it, but I was expecting something a little bit, I guess, cheesy or something more along the lines of like Annabelle or something like that. But it was a cool movie, man. I think because I went in with really low expectations that I ended up enjoying it.
Those are a couple lessons, man, that I've actually learned from you. I've learned, number one, it's best if you really don't go and watch the trailer. You know, I know some people are like, well, but then why would I want to go ahead and watch it if I haven't watched the trailer? You know what I mean? And I would say, you know, if I hear from somebody that I respect their ideas about movies, and I have talked to them before, and I hear movies that they like and that they don't like, and they say, I think this is a really good one, I think that you would like it. The moment they say anything beyond that, I'm like, shh, like, don't do that, man, because it's really messed it up for me before. And a lot of times, man, I'll watch movies, and even good ones, dude, even good ones, or the ones that would have been really cool, weren't as cool because they put a whole bunch of the really great parts in the previews.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. They're
that
bad
ain't
with the previews anymore. Bad.
Oh,
Bad.
super bad. And they'll be like 2.5 minutes long too.
Yeah.
It's not like a commercial growing up. You'd, watch some commercial. It's like 30 seconds long
Yeah.
and a lot of words because the guy would be telling you, and on this movie, blah, blah, blah. And now they're just showing scene after scene after scene, and they're trying to hook you the best they can. So they're giving you the best they got. And it's like, well, that's great because now that I'm watching it, I know what's coming. And it bums me out. So like, that's one of the big things. And not to read, don't even read the description, right?
Yeah. Don't.
Just go out on a limb sometimes. And I found that when I do that, I am so much happier. And I've really enjoyed movies. And I learned it from you, buddy. I've learned it from the master. Yeah.
You can go in, if you go in blind, and even if you don't know what kind of genre it is, I mean, in the opening credits, you normally do, unless it's something like, From Dusk Till Dawn, where it's like a heist movie, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's a vampire horror movie. There are movies like that. I saw another one, I can't remember the name of it, where it was actually something like, it was like a bank robbery movie, and then all of a sudden it was this haunted bank movie. I had no idea. So it's good to be surprised even on that level where you're like, I don't even know what kind of movie this is. And what spoils movies for me too is if someone says like, no spoilers, but man, there's a great twist at the end.
Yeah.
So then I'm like,
yeah.
I hate that because then it's like, yeah, I don't know what the twist is, but chances are I'm probably going to be able to guess what it is because my mind is going to be just putting everything under the microscope. And instead of kind of really just sitting back, turning my brain off and enjoying the movie, I'm going to be like, trying to so yeah, man, I just, if someone says this is a good movie, you're gonna really like it. Or even if they say, but this is hard, like if they say, hey, you should watch Midsummer, it's like a cross between Rosemary's Baby and Wicker Man. So I'm like, okay, so there's a cult and there's or Rosemary's Baby would be more like a Hereditary, I guess. So you're kind of waiting for, you're kind of already putting pieces together and having kind of some expectations stuff. So yeah, the best movies for me, man, even if it's one that it just changes it changes the experience. And that's the way I prefer. And that's, if I can get away with it, that's what I'll do. But so then, yeah, so The Rental, The Beach House, The Boy. The other one was Dr. Sleep. And by the way, almost none of these came out in 2020. So I know a lot of people make their list based on, and their book lists and their movie lists based on movies and books that came out in 2020. I don't do that. I just grab whatever I want to watch and do that. So Dr. Sleep, man, you haven't seen this.
I have not seen Dr. Sleep yet. I intend to, but I think that's one of the last movies where I actually did see the trailer, and it kind of turned me off a little bit. Like I'm like, because
turned me on big time.
Did it really?
Dude, when they showed the Kubrick, I got a little chubby, dude.
Oh,
when they showed the Kubrick carpet, the Kubrick Stanley Hotel,
yeah,
dude, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, but it's so much different, dude. Than I guess because I've never read the book, I've only watched the Kubrick movie, and there's a kind of I didn't want to say I don't want people to take it the wrong way, man. I don't want you to take it the wrong way, but I kind of felt like the Shining has a certain feel and a certain attitude toward events and toward the content of what it's about in much the same way that Blair Witch did. And I felt like the second one, right, the Dr. Sleep, to me, it made me feel anyway like I did a little bit when I saw the trailer for Blair Witch 2. I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm just simply saying that the idea that it's way different than the first, where it focuses a lot on, the powers and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I don't know, but as I said, I saw the preview. I haven't seen anything more beyond that. So I'm open and I intend to watch it. So I plan.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, you should. Yeah. It's a really good movie, and it's amazing how they were able to do an adaptation of what's essentially a sequel to The Shining, Stephen King's book, and appease the Kubrick fans and the Stephen King fans all at the same time. It's pretty cool how they did that.
Aren't there like 10 of the Stephen King fans in that debate? There's like a dozen. Like it's like that one meme where it's like there are dozens of us, dozens.
No, trust me, man. There's
really,
I think that I think I'm in the minority as far as like Stephen King fans versus Kubrick's film. I think it's.
You think there are more people who like Stephen King's version than Kubrick's version?
Yes, I do.
Are you talking the book, the book versus the movie, or the?
No, when I say Stephen King's version, I mean the book, not
okay. No, I got you.
Pile of garbage that Tim Myers.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You got me spooked. I'm like, I don't know what weird word you're in, dude.
No, that's a real minority. That's like Tim and maybe one guy way off in the corner somewhere that they don't talk to each other because they're both filled with shame.
Oh, so the book, dude. Okay, I got you, man. I understand. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But dude, check that out, Dr. Sleep. And then Come to Daddy. Did you see that?
No,
dude.
Okay, is that Elijah? What's his name?
Yes.
Yes.
He's so good in it. Everybody's so good in that movie. I'm not gonna say anything about it, obviously, but dude, it's nuts, and you have to see it.
Yeah,
it's got a great twist in the end. No, just kidding.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say, I'm like, come on.
What? Yeah, Come to Daddy.
You're a jerk. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Another one in my. This is number 5, in like I said, no particular order. This is not a horror movie. It's a movie called by Mark Duplass. I don't know if Jay Duplass was involved in it or not. It's called Blue Jay, and it also has. Man, I cannot remember that chick's name. She was in Bird Box. She was in American Horror Story. No, I can't remember her name. Anyway,
okay.
It's a black and white indie film about Mark Duplass running into basically his ex-girlfriend after they've been apart for several years, and he goes back to like his hometown. I think it's because his parents died, and so they reconnect. It's just a dialogue-driven, character-driven film that is for fans of that kind of thing. It's not something that, you're going to want to turn to your, superhero-loving friend and say, dude, you got to check out Blue Jay because they're going to think it's trash. But I loved it. Yeah. It was in my top 10. I pretty much love anything that Mark Duplass does.
Do you have any superhero movies in your top list, Chad?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We know you love them, dude. We know you're a huge fan of the superhero films and Transformers, anything with Transformers, anything with like Guardians of the Galaxy. You're really, really into those.
Yes. I can't wait.
That's your thing, man. Yeah.
Yeah, especially Superman. All right. Okay. A movie I just watched the other night so I could hang out in the chat room with the final guys as they talked about this movie. It's called Anything for Jackson, and that's a good movie, man. And what's funny is as they were talking about it, some guys in the chat room, and he's like, "Thank you," and then he's like, "Yeah, we did that because of this or whatever," and I'm like, "Who is this guy talking to? What is he even talking about?" And I'm thinking I'm missing chat,
Yeah.
And then I realized he's talking to the final guys. And then one of them, I think it was Jason, said we. And it was the writer of the film. And at first I didn't believe him. I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. And then I DB'd him and everything and got his name.
The writer just rolled into the final guys and was like, what's up, bro? Yeah.
He said he was being quiet until he found out, and if they hated the movie toward halfway through the episode when they start talking about the main event, the main feature, then he was going to just get out of there quietly. But everybody's raving about it, so he spoke up, and now he's going to be on the show in a couple weeks, I think. And I was wondering if maybe we could even get him on ours. Maybe he's going on this little publicity tour. Seemed like a cool, reachable dude.
He can roll the circuit. You know what I mean? He'll work the interwebs.
Yeah.
the connections between the different podcasts with the boys.
But he gave some interesting trivia, and I won't bring it up in this episode in case we do ask him on and hang out with him. But it's a good movie. It's called Anything for Jackson, and that is on Shudder, brand new on Shudder. I think it's a Shudder exclusive. Dude, this next one I keep telling you to watch, The Greasy Strangler, man.
Dude, I have not seen The Greasy Strangler, and I gotta say this though, the reason I was going to watch it because the first preview I saw was hilarious, dude. And I thought it was like a Tim and Eric awesome show, great job style thing, right? I mean, to me, that's what the humor came off like. And in fact, I thought one of them was in it. I was like, is that the case? And so I was so excited about this preview that I told my kids, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, this looks like really fun. And I should have looked it up and thought, man, maybe it's, I'm not getting the full view of what's kind of going on with this. And so, but I went upstairs and I put it on the TV and I thought I had the same trailer and I did not. And the trailer that I had was not for children. I'm like, oh my gosh. And my kid's like, why are you showing us this?
Yeah.
It's
so hilarious.
I was totally spooked, man. I felt terrible about it, but that's a movie I want to watch.
Dude, dude. It's absolutely absurd. The movie is just outrageous. There's not as much. I was expecting it to just be full blown like sex fest. It's not like that. I mean, there's some stuff in there, but it's definitely not. There's nothing like you're not gonna watch it and get turned on and go, oh man, now I'm all horny from watching the dude, because it's nasty.
But you said that about what movie was it, dude? Just Before Dawn. You were like, oh, there's this one scene in there and the girl, and it's not gonna do anything. And I'm watching, and I'm like, dude, I don't know why you don't think she's hot. And you're like, you thought she was hot. I'm like, dang, son, your eyes aren't working too well anymore. Dude, no. What's wrong with you? So is Greasy Strangler's not that though? That's something different.
No, and it is it really. I don't know if you've ever seen a John Waters film, but it's like if John Waters made a film with the dude who made Napoleon Dynamite. And
is John what name a movie, man?
Pink Flamingos.
Okay,
Lust in the Dust.
Yeah.
You probably haven't seen. I don't think you've seen any. You know who Divine is? The transvestite, the overweight transvestite guy.
Not by name, believe it or not. Okay. I don't know.
All right.
Not by name. I don't know that.
Actually, a John Waters movie you may have seen is he did one called, what was that called? Was it Crybaby or Hairspray?
I've seen both of those. I thought I saw Pink Flamingo, dude.
I doubt it, dude. It's pretty.
Really?
It's risque. It's pretty underground. But anyway, it's like,
dude, I don't play patty cake with movies. I've seen some risque stuff, man.
I understand that.
But it's underground.
Yeah, but it's like for a certain. Not everybody likes that kind of stuff, man. John Waters movies, but it's like if John Waters made a really nice movie, like with the quality of like I said, the guy who did Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre, and then they had some. There's kind of like this Family Guy feel to it. To some of the jokes, how in Family Guy they'll do a joke and they do it so long that it's absurd and makes it funnier because the joke is going on for way too long. Yeah. There are scenes like that in the movie.
No, like the intro to Maude. I don't know if you've seen that one, man. It just goes on and on and on, and he's like, and then there's Maude, and it just keeps going. And it's the same do and you're waiting for it to end or where he's holding his chin and he's going
yes
that kind of thing.
Or he's trying to get that dead frog out of Chris's window.
Yeah,
just like that. But yeah, dude, Greasy Strangler. If you're gonna watch any of these movies,
Greasy Strangler, dude,
because it's so
I'm pumped about it. I want to watch Greasy Strangler. That sounds like a movie I would want to watch, is Greasy Strangler. If anyone else, it wouldn't even just have to be you. If somebody came up and said, hey, Jeremiah, have you seen Greasy Strangler? I would say, no, I have not. but it sounds like the exact kind of movie I want to watch, like Stat. And so
Yes.
I'd want to watch it. I mean, it. Well, I'd have to ask first if it's pornographic. I'd say, you're like, what is this? One of those films? And like, no, it's not that. I'm like, okay, then yes. But Greasy Strangler, dude, it can go. It sounds like it could maybe be one of those kink films.
There is more male nudity than female nudity in here, for sure.
And
there's
like, you'll be good with the Jeremiah. There's a lot of male nudity. What are you insinuating, Chad?
No, hey, I didn't say like it's your kind of movie. It's got
a lot of male nudity.
No, but it's got full frontal. A lot of it.
What? Okay. Wow, dude, you are digging to China. Oh.
Yeah, am I not selling the movie very well?
Yeah, you found all the points that I know. Normally that would be one of those selling points, Chad. I mean, that's what I look for. One of the first things, I say, is there a lot of full frontal male nudity in there? And if there is,
I've seen the boxes that you checked. And I thought I saw that in there. But okay, the second to last movie is called It Comes at Night.
It comes at night.
Yeah. Which is not what will happen if you watch Greasy Strangler at night. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
No, It Comes at Night, dude. It's amazing. It's probably in the top 3 that I've seen this year. My number 1, It Comes at Night, and Greasy Strangler. But dude, yeah. It's I don't really want to say what it's about. The trailer is super misleading. The title is misleading. I would highly recommend it. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. But the number 1, dude, you know what the number 1 is. The number 1 that I've seen all year, and the number 1 that we've watched and talked about on the show, Paddleton.
Yeah, I knew it, dude. Yeah, I know it, man.
Yeah, a movie that nobody's seen.
Dude, it's true, man. It is so powerful. And that episode, I mean, early on, man, I went back, and as I was looking at the movies that and the way that we treated the show when we first started and stuff, is kind of interesting. And I thought, I'd never seen Wild at Heart. In fact, I didn't recall ever seeing anything by David Lynch at all. And it was such a great film. And it kind of set the tone. In fact, maybe the rest of, all the shows put together, we are kind of wild at heart about all this stuff. But that Paddleton, bro, it's like those two shows together, really kind of set the tone. And I would even say with the third one, with November, in that, the kind of the way that we're willing to go and see these films that are kind of out there, man, like kind of out there, unexpected, out in left field. Most people might not know about it and stuff, but Paddleton, man, it was so powerful. And that episode, man, we've warned people. We're like, look, if you're going to listen to us talk about that episode, you need to have tissues. You're going to cry. Yeah. Like that's good. That's a tearjerker episode. It's a tearjerker movie. Yeah. And yes, dude, I'm not surprised at all. That it's number 1 for you. I anticipated it.
That movie traumatized me for a little bit. It was very heavy. And again, that's a Marketplace film. Exclusively it's a Netflix original, and it's highly underrated. I'm not sure if it's because Netflix isn't pushing it. I'm not sure if it's because it's a buddy drama. I really don't know. But
well, I can see a little bit why, that it wouldn't have popular appeal, like I understand. Number 1, it is really, really emotional. Like, I mean, but it's also, they're like nerdy guys who are like older Gen X to young boomer. Like they're kind of, older Gen X. So they're, I'm kind of at the tail end of that. So they're older than I am. I don't know how old Romano is, but he seems like, if not, he'd either be like really, really at the cusp, man, at the cusp there with the generational divide. And so a lot of buddy films, they're younger, like Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. They kind of have that younger thing going. Neither of them in this film. There's not like a lot of sex appeal going on with the film, but it's one of those films that the story by itself and the authenticity of the characters and the authenticity of the heart in it, man. Like it's so easy to relate to that it's deceiving. Probably there might be people who watch, if they watch a preview, they might be like, well, I don't know if I'd be interested in watching that. That's really deceiving, because I think almost anybody in the world could watch that, and they may not love it, but they will relate to the characters. They'll know people like this. They'll relate to the emotions in it, to the loss. Yeah, dude, I could go on forever. We have a whole show on it, man. It's a great movie, and I'm so glad that you brought that up. That's a great dude for sure.
I do want to mention real quick, if there is anyone watching, I don't know how many people are watching, but if anyone's watching that has some kind of, I mean, we didn't set this up as like a Q&A or anything. We just thought we'd talk. But if somebody pops a question or something in the chat, I mean, we would absolutely answer it and give us something to even talk about. So feel free to participate, man, and say hi and stuff. Or be a creeper.
You can go ahead and
the blinds.
Yeah, I'll do this. I'll just show this here. And we do this, for example, Bethany coming, just Happy New Year. And look at that, man. It even has the celebratory bells and, a little thingy thing, all that. We have another Happy New Year's to us. Okay. That's actually, I don't know if that's my brother or if that's my son. I don't know which one, man. I don't know what they're even doing on here. But anyway, the point being that if you comment, we can go ahead and we can pop it up right there at the bottom of the screen. And so even if we don't necessarily talk about it and address what's being said, it's part of the conversation. But no matter what, we hope that you comment. We hope that you like it. And that, because this is the way it's going to be. This is the way it's going to be. It makes it easier on us too, man, to be quite frank.
So,
it makes
so what are you saying? We're going live now all the time? Is that
Are we going live
your idea?
Or is this the only live show we're doing?
I don't know.
What are we gonna do, man?
I don't know. This is an experiment. I mean,
experiment. Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, when we have a guest, I don't know that I would want to go live.
That's legit. Well, I don't know, man. You think a lot of people might want to tune in and ask that, the guy or the girl some questions.
I don't know, man. I got to get a little more hair on my chest for the show before I start doing live shows with guests. I mean, look what happened at Lansdale. Let's talk about that for a second.
Let's do that. Thanks a lot, Chad. Let's talk
disclaimer.
About this, Jeremiah.
Well, we have to talk about some highlights of the year. I mean, this is like our end of the year episode.
Yeah,
or
man.
Beginning of the year, whatever. But just as a disclaimer, I don't think that we've talked in an episode about what happened, but I know that some of the guests who have been on, I know the story's been told to them. But if briefly, what happened with Mr. Joe Lansdale, who, God bless him, spent 4 hours with us.
I know exactly.
I think Josh Malerman's the only one that spent up close to that with
that
us.
much time. Yeah. And both those were great episodes. Okay. So here's how it goes, right? This is early on. Well, no, it's about the midway. Mm-hmm. It's about the midpoint, man, I think is when we got Lansdale. And for people who don't know, Joe Lansdale is like a hero to many people, but also to Chad. And in fact, Chad is on the special features in a documentary about the Popcorn King, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he's on a documentary about him, and in the special features, he looks up to him big time, a major influence on his writing. Didn't he write a blurb for you?
He wrote a blurb for me for the Neon Owl. For the
Neon Owl. And so it's a really big honor. And it's one of those things, where he's like, man, leading up to it. Okay. And I got to say this, the week leading up to it, if someone could bite their nails down to the bone, the bloody raw bone, Chad would have done it because he was spooked, man. I mean, it was like, wanted to make sure everything was fine. He just wanted to make sure everything was fine. And so, I'm like, it's going to be fine, dude. We've got this. We do this all the time, blah, blah, blah. We're professional. And we get on there and we start up the show and it's super great. We're talking to him ahead of time. He's a great guy, really easy to speak with, difficult to get into the conversation because he's a talker, man. He's a storyteller, and it's like a train, like a freight train, just do, and you get him started, man, and he's cooking. And so we get going. Well, it comes to this part where Chad opens up from his heart. In fact, I mean, it's a heartfelt story about his dad and how his dad gave him this book, and that's how he learned about Lansdale and the impact that it had, and all these years later. And I mean, it's really, really like heartstrings, just playing heartstrings like crazy, and it's very personal. And as he's going through this, and he's done, and Lansdale's talking about it, how honored he is to hear this and everything else. We're about 20 minutes in, and at that moment, I have this joy in my heart. I'm seeing my buddy, right, and his hero having a blast, and it's so powerful. And as I look on the screen with a big smile on my face, I realize that live light in the corner isn't on. And I realized in that moment that I had failed to push go live, and we were not recording anything at all. For 20 minutes, we did the intro, we did everything, we did this emotional story, and I've got to cut into Joe Lansdale. I've got to be like, my heart's pounding, man. I'm all sweating.
Yeah, you got to be like, Mr. Lansdale, I need you to shut up now. We're not recording.
Dude, I cut in hard because I knew I had to. And I was like, guys, like this. And he kept going. And finally, I'm like, you guys, listen to me. And I just full stop, man. Boom, hitting a brick wall. And I'm like, you guys are going to maybe be upset about this, but we have not been recording. And Chad,
20 minutes in.
Yeah, devastated. I mean, Chad is like, what? And you could see it all over his face. But Lansdale to the rescue, dude. That guy was so generous. I mean, I was terrified. I was about to cry. I mean, I'm like, because I had to scramble around and try to figure out what was going on. I'm like, oh, okay. I think all I got to do is push record. And dude, I was so scared about it all. And Chad, it was an inconvenience because Chad had to retell that because he wanted him to retell it.
Joe asked me to retell that story.
Yeah, he asked me to retell it.
Yeah, and then one of the things I was really bummed about, well, not only the fact that Joe is being generous with his time, and here we just wasted, 20 minutes of it. But yeah, he immediately was like, all right, well, let's start over. Let's do this. And he had a smile on his face and stuff. But the one thing that bugged me, one of the most, was that he said some glowing things about my work in that first 20 minutes and praised me pretty good. So, and I know that he talked a little bit later on the reiteration, but Jason Brandt, good thing you worked the Gremlins Lottery system on a little known author like Lansdale before you had me on. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. That's why we did it. We stacked it early. We had Lansdale, we had Jeremy, he was on the show, right? We had who else, man? Who else do we have?
We've had Armand Rosamilia. We've had
early on Mallerman.
Oh yeah, we have
Jeremy
Josh
Wagner,
was our
Mallerman. We had Joe Lansdale, and we were doing that to really prep ourselves for when Jason would come on the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Talk about biting your nails. I almost started drinking again.
Oh, yeah, I did. Almost. Yeah. Dude, you did. It was rough, wasn't it? I mean, and as I said, I was so sad. And the truth is, it's one of those things where, yes, you were able to, to reiterate that story again. You were able to say it again, but it was different. And anyone, so the three of us, but it's kind of one of those things, Chad, that I'd like to look at the silver lining and say, Joe will always know that story in a really unique way where you were able to just, speak heart to heart to him. Sure, nobody else got to hear that version of it. They had to hear you try to do it over again. And at the end, but it was so great though, wasn't it? And it was one of those things where at the end of that show, we were blown away. I've saved for all time, for sake of memory, I've saved our reaction when everything was done and he said goodbye. And we just sat there for a minute looking at each other like, did this really just happen? Did we? Because it was such a great time with Lansdale.
Yeah. And my nerves went, I got my nerves back 15 seconds into it. It was just that initial, right away, he was just like one of us. He wasn't like this rock star. It wasn't intimidating or anything, and I could just tell right now, or right away, that we were gonna have fun, and I wasn't nervous at all. But before that, yeah, I just wanted it to be done. I wanted to fast forward
Yeah.
and have the evening be over with, because Joe, you know, I mean, we're not friends, but he follows me on Twitter, and like I said, he gave me the blurb, and we've spoke back and forth through Twitter and Facebook, but we hadn't like face to face where he's staring at me while I'm talking and I'm staring at him while he's talking. That's on a different level.
Yeah.
That's when I get nervous, because I'm kind of a shy dude. And
That's actually true. Yeah.
yeah, unless you know me, I can.
You're a
But
shy
yeah.
guy. You're a shy guy a little bit.
So that's one of the more memorable stories. But yeah, we certainly didn't want to play. You know, if we had the time and to waste on doing some kind of cool highlight reel, that would be cool. But that's hours.
Yeah,
and
that would have
hours
been a
and
good
hours
one. Yeah.
going through different things. Yeah, pull highlights out of every, which is something we try to
Highlights
do for
and
the division.
lowlights, dude. We've got both of them. We've got the highlights and the lowlights. I've saved them all. I've saved them all, dude. Yeah. I've got it for leverage, Chad. If there's ever a problem between the two of us, dude, I've got a lot of leverage. That's the other problem about going live. Like, people don't realize when you don't go live, there's a lot of stuff, dude, that hits that cutting room floor, man. And so it's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, you know, we never said anything, you know, kind of controversial. And the people who've been on are like, oh yeah, right. We know the truth. We know what's been said. And so, no, man, but it was one of those things, man. It was a great time. And you know, and it's, you know, we didn't want to kind of, you know, focus on one person, because everybody, as I said, we had a really great time with every single person.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool experience for me, because I was able to say, like, look, I don't know, prior to this, I didn't know any of the people that we had on. Zero. None of them. And a lot of them you'd known, or you'd spoken with for many years, or you'd worked alongside, or you'd watched their stuff. And I'm just, you know, I'm coming into this blind. And each and every time, man, and I meant it every time when I said, I'm really grateful just to have met you. And it's been a lot of fun. And I'm just so happy. And, you know, I've done shows. I used to do AM/FM radio. And I'll tell you what, man, I've dealt with a lot of people that I'm not happy to have met them at all. It's over. And I'm like, goodness gracious, hang up on that person. Like, get them away. I'd rather not hear back again, ever. But zero people that we interviewed that at the end of the day, at the end of the discussion, that I ever felt that way about. And it was, in fact, the opposite. And it was it's been such an awesome experience, just even in that regard, man.
I've said this before, and this ties in with what you're talking about. I've said this before. Recently, we had kind of like what I would call a sleeper guest, you know, where it kind of takes you by surprise. For the most part, most of our guests, I was either friends with, or I was good acquaintances with, or, you know, that I was familiar with. But I can't think of anybody that we had on where I didn't have some type of relationship with them somehow, no matter how small, until we had on Jack Campisi.
I knew it. Yep.
Which I had,
Totally. Yeah.
I had spoke with a little bit, you know, through, you know, just social media or whatever. But out of all of our guests that we've ever had on here, I think he was the one I knew the least, I think.
And took us by surprise, man. I mean, it was just, dude,
we had so much fun in that episode.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So much fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've had him back again, like what, 6 weeks later or something like that, with Hunter.
Yeah. For our first double header. We'd never done a video where you talk about an original version of a movie and another version of the movie.
Yeah. Black Christmas versus Black.
Yep, Black Christmas.
Yep. But yeah, he was like the sleeper hit of the year.
Big time. Yeah.
Fun, witty dude.
Yeah, amazing guy. Well, dude, look, I've got I've got my list of favorites, because we still have to talk about the ones that we are not our favorites too. Yeah. We have to talk about those. But I wanted to say this first, man, as honorable mentions. Like, there were some, and I won't even say the ones like that we watched that I really liked, because everybody can hear that, but ones that didn't make the top of the list, but were ones that I thought were really cool. Eraserhead.
Mm-hmm.
One of them. We didn't talk about that on the show.
Right.
It's super bizarre. It's not in my top 5. I didn't do it. Well, I kind of did a little bit of a top 10, but you know, it didn't make it in that list, but it was still an awesome film. Babadook. That was another one. Now that one, it was supposed to be a reaction, wasn't it? Or did I do it? Did I
think
not
you just watched
react?
it on your own.
I think I watched it on my own, the Babadook. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was on there. Kill Bill, because I'd never seen it. Guns Akimbo. And then of course, let me see here. Snowpiercer, and Shazam, that would be on there, and Mandy. I like Shazam, dude. I like some of those movies with superheroes. I'm a comic book guy, dude. Yeah. I'm a comic book guy. I like superheroes. It's got to be a certain kind, though, man. I can't. There's and I don't like the way some of the superhero crap is going. I ain't gonna lie. So I can't look at it and I'm like, I kind of like my superheroes old school.
I don't care for any of it.
Yeah, you're not a fan. But see, that keeps you out of the controversy. Like, because then they're like, oh, well, what do you think about all this stuff going on? You're like, I don't really like any of it at all ever. And they're like, oh, okay. And they walk away. Whereas with me, dude, I get myself in hot water all the time. It's kind of like,
but it sucks when the movie theaters are filled with nothing but movies that I have no desire to see.
No, that's true.
They're either remakes, sequels, or Star Wars, or superhero stuff.
It's true.
I'm not a Star Wars fan either. I'm a Star Trek dude.
You're a Star. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I've always preferred Star Trek to Star Wars. I've never, although when I was a kid, I liked the original Star Wars, and I stayed in line, man. I had buddies that were like really hardcore about Star Wars, man, and they would spend the night before, and they were part of that crowd. And man, bro, you think that like what is it, man? Black Thursday? Is that what that is? Black Thursday? Like that? Do you think that's bad? What's that? Black Friday? Black Thursday? Black Thursday. It's
wow.
It's look, I don't celebrate it. People are like, didn't we really say Black Thursday? Yeah. Where I'm from, it is on Thursday. Okay. So no, it's Thursday somewhere. But Black Friday. Yeah, Black Friday. It just comes out a lot easier anyway. So I was testing you to see if you knew what it was. But you think that's crazy? You think Black Friday is nuts? Dude, try going the night before.
Black Thursday, dude. What the heck?
Did I say Black Thursday again?
No, but I can't get it out of my head. I have to poke more fun because
it's a psyop, dude. I'm psyoping you right now. I'm trying to see. It's actually a test.
All right. Go ahead, man.
I wouldn't have really thought that. No, but yeah, so yeah, Black Friday. On Black Friday, you think that's nuts? You need to go. You need to go to see Star Wars the night before. Stop laughing, Chad. Sure.
I can't.
All night long. I know, dude. You're gonna be at home. You're gonna be at home with Mary.
All night long, dude. You're never gonna live this down.
Dude, you're gonna be laughing. You're gonna be laughing all night. And in the morning, you're still laughing. You're going to be chuckling while you're sleeping, dude. And Mary's going to be like, I know what he's dreaming about. He's dreaming about Black Thursday.
Yeah.
Dude, you'll be like 60, 70 years old. And you'll be like, remember when you said Black Thursday? And I'll be like, ah!
60 years old?
You jerk.
Make that sound so far away.
Relative to, okay, man. Look, I don't tell people you're anything over 45, Chad. You're the one that's throwing yourself under the bus.
Yeah.
You're the one letting people know you're on the, on that line of getting the AARP to the house. Or are you already getting that?
Oh, dude. But I mean, my wife has got a couple of years on me. So.
The ARPer, dude. You're an ARPer, bro. You're an ARPer. Yeah. So, okay. So, but the best movies, okay. The best movies for me, and I picked ones that I said these ones, kind of beat this one out, and stuff like that. Like, for example, It Follows, to me was in the top. Absolutely loved it. I think that is the best soundtrack. And it's funny because when the reaction video, when it comes out, when I'm 60, when I'm an ARPer, and that reaction video comes out, you'll see the evolution of my opinion about the soundtrack. Because in the beginning, dude, I was like not really into the soundtrack. I was thinking like, I was like, I don't know about this music, man. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, man, it got like super intense. And I said, man, and by the end, I'm like, dude, this music is amazing. And so it's kind of hilarious development. Oh yeah. By the way, thanks a lot, Gregor. Yeah, he's bringing up Black Thursday, dude. It's gonna become a meme, dude. People got to meme this thing, Black Thursday. So,
dude, by the time you get those reaction videos up, they're gonna have like those like vintage lines and like little hairs going through there and stuff.
yeah,
You're gonna be so old.
oh my gosh, dude. And so so that movie, sorry about that. So that movie was just amazing. Is absolutely amazing.
It follows. Yep.
Yeah, the movie was amazing. The soundtrack was amazing. It was a totally awesome experience, and it nudged out another movie that I really liked, and that it really spooked me, man. Was Host. And so that the one that was done in 2020, that's all done. What is it, by Skype? So it's all video chat or whatever. The whole thing, absolutely spooky. But to me, I liked It Follows more than that. This is going to bum me out a little bit, but because Paddleton's in my top 5. Well, it's in my top 10, but Monster Calls beat it for me. That's a movie I watched it because of
I
my
think that hits you in a more personal level too.
But yeah, both of them are, both
right, but one deals with
a kid whose mom is dying. Yeah. And it was so powerful. I mean, it was just one of those movies that, for me, given the experiences that I've had with my daughter and her life and death with brain cancer, like that was, both of those films were profound for me and really left a mark on me that for a very long time I'll carry with me in a good way. But it was hard. It was hard to watch. I mean, it was really emotional. And so Monster Calls. The other one, Jaws. But Jaws got beat out by something a little bit. Now, I'm happy I saw Jaws because I had never seen it. And there are some people, dude, that think I'm lying about this.
Yeah.
In the comments, I don't believe you.
So are you still in your honorable mentions? Is that what these are?
No, these are my best ones. The honorable ones,
okay.
I just mentioned them quickly. I said, Eraserhead, stuff like that. Killer Sofa. I should add that, even though I said I didn't want to talk too much about the ones that we watched, because there's a lot of those would be honorable to me. Honorable mentions, but I liked Killer Sofa a lot. Things like Guns Akimbo, Kill Bill, Shazam, and Mandy, movies like that. So no, these are the best ones. Okay, so It Follows beat Host, right? For the kind of, and I have them kind of categorized. Okay, so It Follows beat Host, Monster Calls beat Paddleton. This one, even though it's not the exact same, you'll know why I connected them. Phantasm beat Jaws for me. Now, I love Jaws. Jaws was an awesome movie, but Phantasm, dude, Phantasm is the junk, man. I love it.
It's nutty. Yeah. It's all over the place. And
all over, man. And
unpredictable. It's a wild, zany. Yeah, it beats Jaws for me. I know that Jaws is some people's favorite, and
that might.
I know it's some people's favorite, and it's a good movie. But Phantasm, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally doing that. And your mic, man, I don't know what's going on with that thing. But
still right now?
Yeah, a little bit. It sounds like it's sizzling, dude. It sounds like you're cooking maybe some sausage. You're cooking a little bit of sausage, man, right now. Some eggs, a little bit of sausage, little bits of bacon. You got a little grill right there by the desk. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're good now. You're fine now. So okay. So Phantasm, in my opinion, did it beat Jaws? Okay, beat Jaws. And then my favorite one. No, not my favorite one. It'd be,
dude, you have convoluted your list beyond comprehension.
No.
Yeah.
The best movies. The best in the top.
But you're like, this beat out this beat out this. It's like, dude, just go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
I didn't write it out like that because I put them in categories. So like the spooky category, It Follows one.
Well, you didn't even give the name of a category.
Spooky. I gave it spooky. Spooky category.
Details we need to appreciate
category. The tearjerker category. Monster Calls beats Paddleton.
Okay. Okay. There you go. Yeah. If you just said I've got 4 categories, I
got 4 categories. Okay. Yeah, 4 categories. It Follows in the spooky, creepy, makes you want to turn on all the lights in your house and check behind the curtains and the doors category. It Follows beat Host. Okay. In the I want to cry my brains out, make sure to have 2 boxes of tissues category, Monster Calls beats Paddleton. In the category of Jeremy Wagner, in the category of the Jeremy Wagner experience on PaleoCheeze, Phantasm beats Jaws. Okay. In the category of a very serious movie, I would just simply call it serious. Although one of them, it could kind of float around a little bit. Joker, to me, was better in that category than Quiet Place. Quiet Place, however, had what may be, in my opinion, the most emotional, just absolutely devastating scene of any movie I saw all year. Just one specific scene left me. I mean, I don't know if I've actually cried harder watching any scene maybe ever. I mean, it was just so, it was gut wrenching. And for me, but yet even so, you know, and Quiet Place isn't going to be bummed. They're what, the 3rd most popular horror movie of all time, right, Chad?
Yeah.
Isn't that the case? Go
there yet.
Let's not go there. So yeah, but Joker, to me, I loved it, man. I loved the movie. I loved the acting in it. I loved everything about that movie. I thought it was profound. I thought it was timely, and just it was amazing. And so, but
it's a superhero movie I get behind.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so yeah, totally 100%. So you're down with at least that. You're down with the bad guys. Yeah. You're down with the bad guys. Okay. So Joker, man, without a doubt, absolutely loved it. But my number one, and it's not even a movie, dude. It's not even a movie, but I know you know what it is. The number one thing I watched all year long, okay, that I said, man, this is just so awesome. I was so hooked. In a way, I don't like getting addicted to watching stuff like, you know, TV and all that stuff. I don't like doing that, man. I don't like spending a lot of time. I like going in with a mission and saying, I'm going to watch this. It's an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever. I'm going to watch this. And then I leave and I do the rest of my normal day. Okay. This, on the other hand, consumed me. It was like, I am all day. I am watching this. I need to find the answer. And I learned quickly, actually, you know, not just with that, the TV series, but also with the movies that the director has done. There is no ultimate answer. I have heard that there are answers. It's like a 4-hour documentary breaking it down. I don't want to watch it. I, in fact, like the director's idea of not giving all the answers, and that director being David Lynch, and that TV show being
Fortress
Twin Peaks. Fortress. Dude, we're watching it tonight. I've already told the kids. I said, look, we're doing the 2021 episode, looking back, looking forward, you know, having a good time. And I said, when it's over, I said, I talked more about Fortress and made that joke. The only joke that I think I made almost that frequently was the one about encouraging people. And I think you did say something about it early on anyway. You may have changed your mind about people emailing you and sending you books to review for blurbs.
Yeah, please do not do that.
Yeah. And I always laugh when you say, please don't do it, so nobody ever hears it. Yeah. So no, Chad does not want your books. He does not want to review your books. He's glad you're writing, but that's all. And just leave him, keep him at home. Send them to me. I'll review them. I'll look at them.
No, I can tell you right now what's going to replace some of these jokes. Black Thursday is a top runner right there, buddy.
Black Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, totally. And so yeah, we it's for sure. Especially once I watch Fortress, because I've only seen it that one time as a kid. And it really shook me. It's kind of like when I saw the scenes of Jaws and it freaked me out, and I never watched Jaws, and then I watched it and was like, dang, okay, it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling I'm going to watch Fortress and I'll be fine. You know, if I'm not, you'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know. I'll reach out to you and be like, dang, son, I do not want to leave my room right now. I've bolted the doors and I'm not really excited about, you know, anybody wearing masks and stuff. And so but So yes, so my favorite film or my favorite show, the favorite thing to watch in 2020 was without doubt, without even anything close to the competition, not even close. Even no matter how much I loved all those other movies, no matter how much, there was nothing that could rival Twin Peaks.
I love it. I want to be real life friends with Special Agent Dale Cooper. He's just somebody that you could like be hanging around. He's like one of those people that if you're hanging around him, you just feel good about everything, about life.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's true though, isn't it? It's true, and you even feel that way in the newer version. You even feel that way in the second the reboot of the show, right, where they bring it back.
Yes, but not as much. As a matter of fact, that part went on for so long that I really missed that guy. You know, I had enough of Dougie.
You had enough of Dougie.
I wanted to see Dale Cooper.
Yeah, okay, I got you. But even
not to say that I hated the series. Right? Not to say that it was like. There was a lot of tension. It was like I love that character so much, and it's like, man, how many more episodes? He's still not here.
Yeah,
where's my Dale Cooper? So,
and that's such a weird thing to even think. Like, I'd love to hear what Lynch has to say on his rationale about anything. I mean, he probably wouldn't even talk about it, but why would you do that? Why? I mean, he's essentially in kind of like what the movie Frank McCluskey, what the doctor in that film talks about with the dad, and says it's kind of a vegetable comatose, staying awake type deal, because he's not there, but yet he's walking around, he's getting up out of bed, he's going to bed, so it's not like he's just laying there with his eyes open. So he's at least functioning in everything. But, at the same time, he's not engaged in all of that. Right. So, yeah, somebody was asking here. Hold on a second. Somebody was asking, did you watch all 3 seasons this year? You better believe it. You better believe it, dude. All of them. Yes, all 3 seasons. But here's the thing, man. I have not seen the movie.
Oh yeah, Firewalk with Me. Yeah, dude, you have to see that.
Well, I know. That is if we cannot find Fortress.
Supposed to watch that before.
Yeah.
Supposed to watch it before the 3rd season because it came out. It came out a while ago.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I found that out later. I was just so into it. I didn't realize, I'm supposed to watch this, in between or whatever. That would make sense. I mean, it was made way before. But I didn't know. I didn't know how to all piece together. But I still want to watch it. In fact, we might watch it. We may watch it this evening if Fortress is not available. And so if we can't find Fortress, and that is a possibility. I mean, it was a blockbuster, but at the time, I guess it fell out of favor or something because it's really hard to find.
Well, I think you picked a really good number 1, man.
Thank you, dude. Yes.
I briefly, I want to. Okay, I'm gonna go through my list. I'm not gonna like dissect and talk about each one. But
your worst ones, your least favorite?
Worst ones, the least favorite movies that I watched this year. I have 10 of them. The giant spider invasion. That was not good. It had it had, what's the guy's name? Is it Alex Haley? It had the skipper from Gilligan's Island.
Oh yeah.
And when I saw him, it was so funny because he plays like the sheriff, and he's through the whole movie, he's just answering the phone all the time. He's just answering the phone. And finally he gets out into the field of, does his duty as a sheriff to fight this giant spider or whatever. But his first scene, he's in his office answering the phone or something. And a dude comes in, and the dude's first line is, hey, little buddy. And I don't know how familiar you are with Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island? Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
What a ripoff. Yeah, it seems like a real rip.
It was clearly paying an homage to, or some kind of inside joke for those in the know. Number 9 was Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. It's a movie that has kind of a cult following. I know Hunter Shea has a real personal attachment to it that I totally get, and we talked about that a little bit when he was on the show. I think it may have bummed him out a little bit when I said that. How much I hated that movie, but I hate
how much
that
you hated it.
Yeah. The Amityville Curse. To be honest, I watched so many Amityville horror movies this year that I can't remember which one the Amityville Curse is, because so many of them were bad and they could have almost all been on this list of the top 10 worst movies I saw this year out of around 180. Invasion of the Blood Farmers. It's hot, sweaty, nasty, stinky garbage. Deathbed, the bed that eats, which I'm trying to get Jason Brandt to watch for his. He's got the hilarious show, So Bad It's Good on YouTube. That is maybe the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. Period. Deathbed, the bed that eats. It's made in the 70s. Drive-In Massacre. Super, super low budget movie. I think it was made in the 70s too. I think you could watch it on Tubi TV. It's hilariously bad. The Love Witch. I think that's a Shudder film. And I thought I was going to love it because it's a modern film, but it has the aesthetic of a 70s Italian horror film. So I thought I would just totally love it. And it's not a good movie. Another one is a movie from the 80s called Demon Wind. That is really bad. And it's like a weird, it's kind of like an Evil Dead ripoff. None of it makes any kind of sense at all. The characters are strange and bizarre, and nobody belongs in the movie, and they should have never made the movie. I watched Thanksgiving 3. I'd never seen Thanksgiving, and there is no Thanksgiving 2. There's just a Thanksgiving 3, and that was it was bad. It was so bad. And then I saw a movie that Jason Brandt recommended called Found Footage, not Found Footage 3D, just Found Footage. And Jet Campisi, I think, recommended it too. And I hated that movie so bad. So those are my 10. And the one movie that you and I, because we were going to talk about this, the one movie that I hated the most that we watched for PaleoCheeze, was in disclaimer, we're excluding Black Christmas because that's the remake of Black Christmas, because that's a given.
Yeah, it is the worst. And if you want to hear how badly we hated that, you need to watch it. You need to watch because it's hilarious, because we have Jack and Hunter both on for that, and went to town on that movie. It was terrible.
Yeah, you can find many reviews on YouTube that just tear it up. But the movie that I liked the least was gosh, I just had it. Now I can't find it. Dude, Night of the Were-Rooster. It's kind of a given too. We went off the beaten path for that one and kicked it old school like we used to do. 15 years ago.
You thought it was going to be awesome, dude. You got to admit it. You thought it was going to be great. It was just going to be a fantastic movie. And
that's because I thought it was going to have a rooster in it. I thought it was going to be like this crazy, gory trauma film type of thing. And it just wasn't like that. So all of the badness.
Do you think that would have actually salvaged it for real? Like, do you think all it needed was a rooster? At the end of the day, you're like, all it really needed was just the rooster. If the rooster was there, it's pretty good.
Because I know the rooster would have looked hilarious.
Yeah.
How could it not?
That's true.
So if they would have showed a rooster, even if it's just the rooster's like long neck and head, and it's like going in and out of the, that would have been hilarious. But there's no redemptive quality about that. I didn't like really any of the characters, and it's hilariously bad.
Yeah, none.
And what I think the funniest part for you was when we were reviewing it, I had no idea one of the characters was gay, because apparently my gaydar is broken, and
it's the worst.
That didn't make any sense to me. And you're like, oh yeah, he's totally gay. I was
ragingly gay, wildly fabulous gay, like major time screaming. That's what the whole joke is he's over the top talking about how buff he is, or not
compensating
the chicks. Yes. He's way overcompensating,
right? But guys do that are not gay.
Not like
and
that.
I thought he was one of those people.
No way. Yeah, and you were like, what? He's gay? I'm like, well, what? I'm like, yes, dude, he's very. Well, you didn't know, and I'm like, and how did I say it? I was like, oh yeah, we all know he's gay. Like, I think I said it like just so matter of
I
fact.
don't even remember.
Just really obvious. And you're like, really? Yes, dude. This guy he was very gay. And so that's the worst one. That's the worst one. It breaks my heart that they never reached out to us because we were critical of some things to do. I'm being serious. We were critical of some of the things that were done on Killer Sofa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was critical of some of the actors in that, and some of the decisions were being made and everything. You were critical of the lack of the gore and the bone chunk, you know, kind of torn up flesh thing. You're really into that. And so, like, you know, but we criticized it, but yet the guy that did that reached out and his wife said, you got to listen. And normally he doesn't. And he said it was fair. And it was a pleasure to listen. And it was fair.
Well, we criticized it, but we also really praised it because for a B film that was that type of thing, we expected Were-Rooster, and we got an intelligent, well done, attractive, low budget B film.
True. Yeah.
It was way above most that are in that category.
Way
like
above.
They really knew what they were doing. Yeah.
Way above Were-Rooster. Like not even close.
No, way above most.
Most
B film.
Well, that's why I put it in my honorable mentions. Yeah, I put it in my honorable mentions.
You liked it that much, huh? So So Killer Sofa was in your honorable mentions, but Just Before Dawn was not.
Well, Just Before Dawn was, but I didn't say all of the movies that we had seen that I'd already given my view on, because a lot of those everybody can go see that and everybody can see what my rating is. But yes, Just Before Dawn was in fact part of my top 5. When I said I had the easy top 5, it was an easy thing to do. And then I kept having to add, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, Just Before Dawn, there's no doubt about it that Just Before Dawn is.
So it's not on your list because we made a video about it, and your opinion isn't I don't understand that, because you've got movies on your list. Dude, your list is whacked out. Dude,
it's messed up, dude. Okay, it's all sorts of messed up. I'm the guy talking about Black Thursday, dude.
If you turn your camera, I have no doubt that there on the wall there's like a U.S. map, and it's got red yarn going through all these things with thumbtacks, and it's got little sticky notes that say your different categories. And
I'm pulling a John Nash, okay? Like it's what it is. It's hard for me. A couple hours ago I was really in the zone and I could see the patterns with all of the strings and stuff. But now it's just looking like gobbledygook, and I don't know what to do. But no, that's a fair point, because Phantasm was one of the movies we reviewed. So was Paddleton, and so was It Follows. But the other ones weren't. And so, and I in the honorable mention part, I did not mention ones. I did offhand. I mentioned Killer Sofa, but other than that, I didn't mention any of the films in the honorable mentions that we had watched. If I did, I would put Wild at Heart, Pretender, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Killer Sofa, November, which was really close to being in the top. Okay, as well as Black Christmas, the first one, and that would be it, right? And so those movies, the 5 or whatever movies that I just listed that we had watched, those are in the honorable mention category. But I didn't want to mention them, and I didn't include Blue Velvet, by the way. Although the commentary for Blue Velvet was great, that was a really fun movie for commentary and stuff like that, nostalgia, everything like that. But I liked Wild at Heart better than Blue Velvet. And of course, we talked a lot about Twin Peaks. But the worst movies, okay, getting back to that, okay, the worst movies for me, I'm going to say the worst ones, and then I'm going to say the ones that were part of the worst, but I really do feel like I got to give a second shot, okay, in fairness. One of those is Were-Rooster, obviously. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like at this point from now on, that's like saying Black Christmas, the second one, or the third, whatever the newer one. You know, it's really bad.
Recent remake, 2019.
Okay. Yeah. So if it burns my mouth, my wife brought me down some coffee, and she's like, "I'm telling you, it's not super hot." I'm like, "If it is, everybody's gonna know." I'm gonna like, "Why'd you do this to me?" So, okay. So Were-Rooster, is on there. Wicker Man, not the first one, the Nicolas Cage one. Okay, the first one was pretty cool to watch. The Nicolas Cage one was not cool to watch. I did not enjoy that. I kept looking at my watch like, "Whoa, dude, is this over?" kind of a thing. This is something that's not necessarily a movie, but it's something that I watched, and it was really hard for me. Was the newest season of Doctor Who? Any of the episodes with that was really, it was really infuriating for me. And I got really down about it because I'm a Whovian and I love Doctor Who. I love, and I don't even have anything against the new Jodie Whittaker. I don't have anything against the idea of making the Doctor a girl. But it really is a sad thing the way that the writing went and stuff. And so it bummed me out on a personal level. Mulan is another movie, the new Mulan.
Is that a cartoon?
It was a cartoon, and then they made a live version of it, and I hated it. I hated everything about it. I watched it, and I'm just like watching, like, dude, this is so. It was so poor, in my opinion. It was so poorly written, and even the parts where my wife was like, "Well, actually, that's just like the cartoon." I'm like, but it's not the same thing if it's a cartoon. Like, cartoons. There's a different way you can get away with a lot of things with cartoons. For example, that you just simply can't get away with the same way. Like, for example, it's easier not to have that. It's easier to have suspended disbelief seeing a cartoon where Mulan sees something behind the army that's on a mountainside, and she goes on a horse, and magically within a matter of seconds she's there, somehow makes it there, and then is shooting and everything, and a avalanche comes down, and she's booking out of there, and just really quickly, bada boom, bada bing, zoinks, it's an intense part of the cartoon doing this thing, and then she's out. When you're a real person on a real horse, and it looks real coming down, and you go from like turning around like, we've got this, and the next thing you know, you're just easy peasy lemon squeezy out of there. It's like, dude, that is so fake, and it just looked like jump shots. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, that bothered me very badly. I was very upset, and I would also add a movie that I'd never seen before. Was Ghost Rider, but I don't know if it was. I think it was the second one. Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage is another Nicolas Cage, but he was in the honorable mention, Wild at Heart. Okay, so I'm not just dogging him, but that was to me some of the worst writing in the world. Yeah, it was terrible. The movies that I want to give a second shot. Okay, movies that I watched that my initial impression was, and yet sometimes through talking with you or some of the guests or just time going by, I thought, this wouldn't be half bad to go. And I understand it better now. I get where this is coming from. One of those is The Void. I did not like The Void. I thought I would. I liked parts of it, but then it lost me. I was like, I don't really care for this. The Void is one of those. Mother, my cousin Derek wanted me to.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's good. It's fascinating, right? It's an interesting tale. But when I saw it, I thought, man, this is just crap. I don't really like this at all. And I think that that's a movie I really ought to go back and really try to better understand a little bit more about that. And maybe even do my own kind of analysis on it on my own. Hereditary. That when
you use the sound. That's not really
for Hereditary,
right?
No, yeah, no. I wouldn't have gone for Hereditary.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying that for Mulan. I think that's what I said it for.
Well, you said here's some other movies that I'm giving a second chance because the first time I saw them, I thought
I did not like Hereditary. I did not.
I thought you said that you thought it was okay, or that you.
By the end of the conversation, where I was learning more about it, yes, but I did not. When I first saw Hereditary, and I was watching it at home, and I'm watching it, I was very bored, and I was like, I don't know why, like, Chad thinks this is so dope. I don't know why, because you were
comes the hate mail.
Those where you said it was the scariest, dude. You were like, man, that's such a scary movie. And then once we got talking about it, it was like, well, the family drama. And I'm like, I don't view that as scary. And it was one of those lessons that it was a thing where I said, sometimes I shouldn't prime myself because I was anticipating a certain experience of fear. and that really influenced it. But the more I analyzed it, and the more I went and researched what the movie was about, in fact, I was fascinated deeply. I remember I went and I was actually looking up these crazy videos where people are talking about how they make these pacts with
payment and stuff. Yeah.
Haman, and it gives them power over the ladies and all this prestige. And I'm like, bro, there's like 5 people watching your video right now. Like, nobody knows about you. You know, the demon's not helping you. He's tricking you. And so, but I did that, remember? And I investigated it. I looked at the symbolism, and it was fascinating to me. But I haven't watched it again since. I have not watched it a second time. And so I want to, in fact. And the last one that I need to watch a second time, I owe it to you, Chad, to do this, because it really rankled you, dude. Your panties were in a bunch over this. Florida Project.
Oh yeah,
Florida Project, dude. You love people may not know this, dude. Chad really likes Florida Project. Okay.
Yes,
he really likes Florida Project, and he was like he anticipated that I would too, and that this was a movie that I would really dig, you know. And so I remember watching it, and in fact, that would be, of all the movies that we watched, the one that I was, honest to goodness, in the moment, more bored and distracted than any other film. And I felt badly about it, because I'm like, I know I'm missing something. I know somewhere I've gone off track, right? Somewhere I've lost my mind. I know I'm going to be told this. Chad is going to be rankled. He's going to be cranky. And when I mentioned it, you made the joke. You're like, yep, the show's over, guys. It's been good. We're out of here. Oh man. And so,
you're right. I had forgotten about that. I stuffed it back and way in the back, so I wouldn't have to deal with the trauma of I understand somebody not liking it. I don't understand you not liking it, because you are cultured and you're intelligent, and you appreciate the, you know, what goes into making a film, and writing and dialogue and stuff. And I've never seen a more authentic portrayal of children in my life in any movie. I feel like they just let these kids do their thing for the day while they filmed it. And I know that I know that everybody in that movie, I think with the exception of Willem Dafoe, who's just he makes everything a masterpiece. He's just amazing. But I think everybody else in that movie, this is their first movie. Some of these people weren't even actors at all. Some of them just even lived there at the place. And I know that the main little girl and then her mom, they were not actresses either. This is their first gig. And I don't know if that's whoever directed that. I don't remember, but they really got some amazing performances. So yeah, it did surprise me, because I carry the flag for that movie all the time. And I thought, it would be up your alley. But like I said, I can see someone not liking it. A lot of people not liking it, because it's not their type of thing. But it was a shocker to hear that you didn't like it.
Well, but I hope that it's also a shocker that after that conversation, that's one of the movies, and in fact, the one more than any other that, and I think that I'm glad that I listed that, because I was just going to say movies that I didn't like, but I really thought about it. I'm like, one of the things I've learned in doing this show with you and hearing other people talk about films is sometimes the idea that you can watch it just one time and that's just the end of it, especially on something that is as complex, as nuanced, as symbolic as, or the nature of the story itself, and even the way that it's kind of viewed and received, its overall reception and cultural impact. That if you watch something once and you go, it's just garbage, you may be actually missing something. That's why, by the way, Blue Velvet, that was a lesson learned from that. That's one of the reasons Blue Velvet did anything at all, wasn't it? Because it came out, everybody loathed it. People thought, well, this is terrible. Was it Blue Velvet? Which one was it? Where was it? Like months and months later, somebody, I think it's from the New Yorker, wrote about it and was praising it and saying that it was a good thing, that this is a great film and that people need to give it a shot. And they went, and now it's a cult classic. And it's.
I don't know how anyone would not like Blue Velvet. Dennis
Yeah.
Hopper.
Oh yeah. Character too, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Frank Booth.
So,
but to put a pin in that just for a second, to answer Jason Brandt's question, I have not seen a movie called ICU. I don't even know that I've heard of it. I just looked it up and I don't recognize the artwork. So
I've never even heard of it either. Yeah, I saw the same thing. I did not watch.
I do recognize the artwork. Yeah, no, I have not seen that.
Yeah,
I did not.
So that's my list, bro. That's what it is, man.
You know, you were just talking about revisiting stuff that deserve another chance. I watched a movie last night, and I told you about this briefly. In our last episode, we had you had brought the top 10 or top 25
horror movies,
right?
Yeah,
but was it 10 or 25?
It was just I only stuck with the top 10, but we did the top 10
okay.
horror for
Rotten Tomatoes and Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah,
which Rolling Stone magazine, they've always had, pardon me, they've always had the worst critics. You know, Black Sabbath put their debut album out. They say it sucks and they'll never go anywhere. Zeppelin's first album, you know, and they continually do this.
Yeah.
So when they say something is bad or good, I don't believe, and I've seen them talk up some albums that were not good at all. So when it comes to movies, I definitely don't trust what they have to say. But we talked about their top 10 and Rotten Tomatoes top 10, and there were so many that I didn't agree with. And their number one, I can't remember, I think it was
Rotten Tomatoes.
Number one greatest horror movies of all time was Us, the Jordan Peele film. I mentioned I had never seen it, but that was hogwash. Because out of the tens of thousands of great movies out there, horror films, that is definitely not going to be number one. As a matter of fact, I think this is the same list The Exorcist was not even listed. Not
even in it. Yeah, not even on it.
Way higher.
Yeah,
which doesn't make any sense.
It wasn't in the top 100, bro. I went through the top 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. I scrolled all the way down. That's why I
You found it eventually. I thought it was like 30 or something.
No.
Well, I mean,
I don't think so.
It just goes to show. I remember in the top 10 there was stuff like King Kong and Bride of Frankenstein and crap like that. And it's like, those movies, they don't hold up. My son can't stand those movies. Most kids don't like those movies. You throw on The Exorcist, they're not going to be able to sleep at night. It still holds up, 50 years or almost 50 years later. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I kind of digress, but I watched Us last night with my wife, and I didn't really care for it that much. I had some problems with it. I thought that there was some, I thought the acting was good. I thought the camera work and all that, the direction that Jordan Peele did was good. I thought the writing was good, except for I felt like there were a lot of plot holes, and that I felt like there were some spots that were convoluted that didn't need to be, or that it could have been done differently, like explained differently. However, and I'm not a fan of comedic one-liners in the middle of brutal family trauma. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's room for that, but when you're trying to, it just doesn't, it pulls me right out. And you're like, do you want me to be afraid that someone here is going to die, or do you want me to laugh? Because you gotta choose one during this scene, at least. Otherwise you're wasting your time with both of them. Anyway, I know that there was a lot of stuff. It's one of these movies like Hereditary and Midsommar and, David Lynch stuff, Twin Peaks, that you almost need to watch videos on or go to the Wikipedia page and look at the slew of stuff that talks about this meant this and this meant this and this was a metaphor for this and this was symbolism, and it has a lot of that stuff. Some of it I took note of in there, And some of it was pointed out to me like today when I posted on there. There was a bunch of Black Flag shirts in the movie, which I was like, this is freaking sweet. Being a huge Black Flag fan and having
and having hair on your chest right now, Chad. You're growing hair on your chest. We're going live every week, dude, from now on.
And having a Black Flag tattoo, barred for life. That was like cool for me to see.
There's a man named Thursday.
Yeah. So, but the reason why they were in there is because it meant something that I just completely overlooked. So I realized that there was a lot more to it than and it maybe one day I'll revisit it and try to pick up on some of that stuff. It is well done. It's just plus I think maybe I was going in thinking I was going in. I'm gonna all I can think about
all night. We're both gonna be at home. Our wives are gonna be like, "Why are they chuckling? What's wrong with our husbands?"
I think I was going in thinking this, being almost biased and angry that this was chosen as the number one horror film of all time or whatever. So
yeah.
So I had like something against it going in, but I know that a lot of people, I think most people between the Jordan Peele films, most people like Get Out. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen it yet. No,
it's definitely worth watching. It's a good movie.
Both
movies have really original.
I still want to see Us. I want to see Get Out. I want to see Us.
I think you would like them both, and they both have extremely original ideas, big time, very, and so they're worth watching. But yeah, it's like I said, it's something that I'll probably revisit. But if we don't have any,
I was gonna. Well, I wanted to say something, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of something well written, dude. You have an announcement, don't you?
Oh gosh, yes, thanks.
About a specific something, dude. I was gonna say, you forget about this, dude.
Yeah, it's a big I had a book come out today called Bloodletter. It's the first book in a series I'm doing called the Hamato Pages. It's a vigilante vampire thing. If you like vampire books, if you like books that are kind of lean toward almost like young adult, like YA stuff, this isn't really that, but it kind of leans itself toward that. And it just came out today. You can get it in paperback or Kindle. However, it's not under Chad Lutzke. It's under C.E. Lutzke, and that's to kind of very subtly differentiate all my other books and this series, because all my other books
very different.
They have the voice is the same. It still sounds like me. It's just the topic is a little bit more.
It's a little twilighted out.
No, please no.
A little twilighted out.
There's no Twilight stuff in here.
Running his cold fingers through his dark hair.
There's violence. There's death. There's death. There's gore. There's
biting the lip, dude. Like they do the sexy bite with all that. Oh my god.
No. Matter of fact, the vampire doesn't even have fangs.
She's into that stuff, dude.
What?
She's into the on the line of young adult type stuff, and things to do. My wife, dude.
Oh yeah.
My wife. I can't imagine my wife being like I really loved, Stirring the Sheets, or I really, really loved Skullface Boy, but I can't imagine her really digging this story. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, tell her to check it out and read it. And but yeah, that's the quick announcement. Yeah, so hopefully people will dig it. I have no idea. This happens to me every time I put a book out. More so this time because people have expectations. Some people have expectations on what they're getting when I write something. Like I said, it still has my voice. It still sounds like me. It's just a little bit more mainstream, the idea, the topic. However, the vampirism is it's kind of a different take than, you got to stop me if my mic is messing up. Otherwise, it's just crackling the whole time. Is it still crackling?
It's crackling right now. Now it's good. Now it's great. We need to get. I need to make one of those commercials that's like, for $1.50 a day, in a matter of a month, Chad will be able to fix this problem, and he'll never have the fuzzy because it is kind of cool a little bit sometimes. The fuzzy sound a little bit, dude. It
Okay.
makes you sound retro. A little bit. I'm trying to be all Sly. People don't know this, man. I'm trying to be like Sly, like letting him know, like Mike or Fuzzy in the background. We have a private chat.
Yeah, but by the time I see it, my mic's been fuzzing out for 15 seconds.
No,
Sorry,
I
people.
put it on there as soon as it starts, man. I put it on there as soon as it starts. Just like everybody's like, what?
I'll put a little money in a jar to save for a new mic or new mic cord, and then come next holiday season on Black Thursday, I'll get a deal and get myself a mic.
On Black Thursday, dude. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So
about that.
That's we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up, dude. So hey, man. So number one, thank you for proposing the idea of this show. It really comes down to you.
Thanks for doing it, man.
You had an idea. You thought it would be really cool. You were like, look, we really enjoy it. We've done really cool stuff in the past with sketch comedy and these home videos and goofiness. We like movies. We like talking about them. We've done a couple of them in the past, and you had this idea, and it had been a long time. We're talking like 20 years. Well, no. I would say 10 years. Something like that, about 10 years, 12 years. Since we had done Laser Blast.
Oh, no, those were
like 30 years old.
13 or 14 years ago.
Okay, like 13, 14 years ago. Like it was basically my last year before I graduated. It'd be like, yeah, close to that. But anyway, the
videos on YouTube say like 13 years.
Really? And so we'd done this, but it had been a long time. And we'd never done any, a podcast together. We didn't know if we wanted to do a video or a podcast. And he just brought it up and said, what do you think? And I was like, man, it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. I remember I talked to my wife about it, and she's like, well, you guys do have a great friendship, and you guys, have a good banter back and forth and everything. And I can imagine it being pretty funny and just being a real blast, but not just funny, but deep. And that's like an understatement. It's an understatement of the year. It's so true, but it's an understatement. Because this has been one of the best times, and it's a highlight every week to know that we come together, we're able to chill, we're able to hang out, talk about something fun, laugh, throw ourselves under the bus a little bit, looking a little dumb sometimes, giggling while we work, and doing that, and especially during these times. And it's not just been the fun, but it's been the serious, like the idea of the all-weather friends. That episode, kind of like the Paddleton episode. There are certain episodes that I think people go back and they say, man, this is the tone. This is what this is. And so it's good fun, but it's authentic fun. It's saying we are all weather friends. We are here, buddies through it all. And it's just been a real joy. And so I love this year, and I'm excited, bro, about 2021. And so, where can people continue to find us?
Everywhere. We don't have a website officially, but if you type in PaleoCheeze with a Z, virtually anywhere, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, then you're liable to find us. We are on Acast as well, Spotify, and was it Deezer, Weezer, and Tweezer? All these different newfangled sites where you can download your fancy podcast stuff. I just get my stuff, I think, from iTunes, which we're on there too. I think is what, or Apple Podcast or wherever. So if you're just watching on YouTube and you don't want to see our faces and you just want to hear us while you're working or driving or whatever, you can download the podcast, man.
Yes. Well, it's been a whole bunch of fun, dude. It's been a whole bunch of fun. Really glad we got to do this live video. It was easy. It wasn't too bad, Chad. It wasn't too bad. It was a good time. And so I'm really glad that we did it, man. And I'm really glad. Thank you, by the way, for all of the people who tuned in during this very special episode, our New Year's episode.
Sure.
Great for all of you.
Yeah, man.
All right, buddy. Yeah. Well, I hope you have a really good night. And dude, we'll be seeing you again next week, man.
All right, man.